Hey guys, what's going on? McMole2 here, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited to be bringing you this debut of the Rebels version of Ahsoka Tano from the Star Wars Rebels show. She is a brand new character that is just revealed in the game through Galactic War Report. The game changers, we all get early footage of her, so we get to do these previews so you guys can see what she looks like before she comes into the game through that marquee event in a few weeks. So, yeah, this video, we're not going to be doing too much in-depth review. All the other guys are going to be doing in-depth reviews. I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to do more theory crafting, more talking about just what kind of squad she's going to work in, her strengths, her weaknesses, how you can counter her. And really, it's just going to be more about just what kind of teams you can use around her and give you an early edge on planning teams out for her and seeing just what she can do for you in the arena and in raids as well. So a quick shout out to EA Jesse and the developers over to Capital Games. They got all this pre-recorded footage together for us, sent to us last night. So we were able to get these videos out for you guys, so you guys see what she looks like, what her kit is, how she could work out. So big thank you to those guys over there working late at night trying to get this stuff out for us. You have no idea how much we appreciate this. But just a quick shout out here as well. Look at that character screen. Look at her face. You can tell she's here to kick butt. She's here to take names. And she is not going to have any of your crap. So let's go ahead and take a look at her kit. Now from here you can see that she has a tags of Rebel and Attacker and that she is obviously a light side character. Her character description reads that she is an enduring Rebel Attacker who shrugs off debuffs and consumes buffs to deal extra damage. She has one basic attack, two special attacks, and a unique. Her basic attack is called Balanced Strike, and fully upgraded it deals physical damage to the target enemy and gives protection up 40% for 2 turns, and also gives 40% protection up to a random ally for 2 turns. Her first special is called Meditate. She gains Foresight and each non-unique buff, excluding Taunt, present on other allies for 2 turns. That means that she can't get things like Backup Plan for Hera. So she does that, and then she gains 15% turn meter for each separate non-unique buff that is thrown on her. So if she gains, let's say, 6 buffs through that Meditate, she's going to gain 90% turn meter. There's a lot. And then with the full upgrade is an Omega, reduces the cooldown by 1, and she also gains Retribution for 2 turns. That's another buff she gets thrown on her as well, which means another 15% turn meter. So that's always nice to have. And of course, the basic attack also has an Omega upgrade, which increases the damage by 15% and also increases the protection up by 15% as well. Now going on to her other 2 abilities, her second special is called Whirlwind, consumes all buffs on Ahsoka and deals physical damage to the target enemy. This attack scores an additional hit for each type of buff consumed. The full upgrade for it is a Zeta. It reduces the cooldown by 1. This attack cannot be evaded and has 50% armor penetration. So basically it's going to hit hard. It can't be dodged. It's basically like a Culling Blade or even an Annihilate. So she's basically going to be the light side version of the super hard hitters you have in Darth Vader and Nihilus. It's going to be huge, but that's nothing compared to her unique called Perseverance, where she is immune to all damage over time effects. That is not, as you're not seeing things, she is immune to all damage over time effects. So good luck trying to get Zader to be good against her. Of course, because you know how that fight went with that helmet. But anyways, the trade-off here is that at the end of each turn, that's each turn, not just hers, anytime that a character moves and she gets hit with a debuff, she'll automatically cleanse it off herself. She's basically like Teflon in that point. You can't stick anything on her. But at the end of each turn, she loses 10% health for each debuff dispelled, and then recovers 5% health for each buff on her. This health loss cannot defeat Ahsoka, so it's sort of like the crackling doom from Palpatine. That can't kill your enemy characters. So you have that. So the trick here is stack up a lot of buffs on her and use that to help fight off the health loss from all these debuffs that she'd be getting from other characters. Now, looking at her base stats, you'll see that she is an agility-based character. So of course that means she's going to be getting a lot of physical crit rating. You can see that she has about 19,000 health protection each. She has 148 speed, so she's on the much higher side of speed overall. She has a lot of potency, which doesn't make sense because she has no debuffs, but her tenacity is at 34%, which is on the higher side as well, so she's going to be able to withstand all those debuffs that get placed on her as well. So you see she's got 40% physical crit chance. That is a lot. She's going to be hitting hard, she's going to be hitting fast, but she has on the lower end of armor penetration at 44, so she's not going to be really getting through that armor too much. But thankfully her whirlwind and that Zeta does have that 50% armor penetration as well, so it's made up a little bit there. So the trick is that her whirlwind is going to be her massive damage dealer, so you're going to have to use that and rely on the armor penetration from the Zeta for that. So now that we've covered the kit and her abilities, we can get into the real meat and potatoes of this video, the whole point of this video in the first place, and that is more theory crafting, and that means we can discuss what kind of teams I think she's going to work in with, the kind of teams that give out a lot of buffs in a short amount of time, get her meditate up, get that big boost turn meter, and provide those massive hits with Whirlwind, which I'm sure you've already been seeing a couple times in this video. She does some pretty decent damage with it as it is. So yeah, I'm going to list off a couple of different teams I think that she can work well with, and then I just show a little bit more footage with her in different teams, do some PvP matches probably. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into teams that I think she can work with well in Arena, maybe do some raid teams as well, and yeah, let's go from there. Now the first team I have here is your Wedge Antilles lead, who gives a bonus offense and crit hits, also heal the Rebel allies. You have Chirrut and Bazner because of their amazing synergy and plus all the buffs they hand out. Ahsoka obviously, and then you have Cassian in there. Because at the start of each battle, he gives all those buffs, whether it's defense up to attackers, potency up to support, and rebel tanks getting tenacity up. So you have all those buffs out that he can give there, and then he has a Zeta that can also give protection up, so he's a lot of buffs that he can bring to the table. Next up, you have pretty much the exact same team, except you have Leia instead of Cassian, and that's because of her Rebel Tactics ability, where she can stealth, gain offense up, and also gains the crit damage up, and then you can combine that with the Whirlwind on Ahsoka to do some massive damage as well there. And of course, what would I be if I didn't have a clone trooper lead in there as well? With Rex, you have General Kenobi, Cassian, Ahsoka, and Leia. You get all the buffs from Cassian and Leia with their abilities. You have General Kenobi, who can taunt, and he can also provide crit hit immunity. There's another buff for Ahsoka, and then Rex, of course, because of his lead, with the bonus turn meter gains on whenever someone's critically hit, and the bonus health as well. And then this is more of a Clone Wars nostalgia kind of thing. You have General Kenobi lead, you have Rex and Clone Sergeant in there. Whenever they use specials, Rex will gain stealth, Clone Sergeant will gain advantage, that's more buffs for Ahsoka. Then you have R2-D2 with his number crunch, all those Galactic Republic characters in there. It's going to be a massive offense boost for Ahsoka and her Whirlwind as well, plus the stealth buff from R2-D2. So you're going to have some more buffs there for her to use on her Whirlwind, plus the bonus offense from R2. And then of course it's just a nostalgia because it's a Clone Wars team, and who doesn't love themselves a Clone Wars team? And then finally, I know this seems like a very, very odd team. It's a little bit outside of the box. You know, I want to give something a little different from your usual, Jedi, Clone Wars, Rebels teams. I want to try something a little different here. You have a Darth Maul Zeta lead, you have Sith Assassin, Sith Trooper, Ahsoka, and General Kenobi. Now, the trick here is Sith Assassin and all the buffs she can do with the tenacity, the speed, the offense up, the stealth and advantage from the Darth Maul Zeta lead. You have Trooper with his defense, his counter, all these different buffs in just those three characters. And of course you have General Kenobi with his crit immunity. He has a decent tank to have in there in case Sith Trooper falls or gets countered or can't taunt. And you have Ahsoka who can just gain all those buffs in with her meditate, and then she can just go crazy with that Whirlwind. So it's another different team to have in there. So yeah, these are the top 5 teams, well not so much top 5, but 5 teams I think would be an interesting combination to try her with. So we've talked about that. Let's just go ahead and talk about her strengths. We'll mention the one weakness she has in this game right now, and yeah, we'll go from there. Now, in terms of just overall strengths and weaknesses, her strength is that she can get all those buffs with the meditate and then just unleash that massive hit with the Whirlwind, and she basically is the light side version of Nihilus, because it's just an annihilate move. It just destroys someone, and there's just not much there left of that character. Of course, she shrugs off debuffs like nobody's business. She cleanses herself at the end of each turn. That's each turn, not just her own. So yeah, if an enemy debuffs her, that debuff is cleansed right away, but of course that's where the main weakness of her comes in, where all of a sudden you now have where she's losing all that health because she's cleansing herself all the time. So a team with a lot of debuffs in there can really knock her out quickly. Like you'll see here, she cleansed herself of that stagger, or excuse me, the daze and the stun right away, but she loses 20% health in the process, and she still got hit with that stagger and reduced her turn meter all the way to 0. So she kind of has to work her way back up. So yeah, turn meter reduction would be a good way to counter her. Also, a lot of debuffs would be another great way. Just kind of quickly knock out a bunch of health off of her and just whittle her down at that point. But also your one-hit combos like wigs can pretty much knock her out, because remember, she only has 20,000 base health and protection each. So she's not exactly squishy, but she's not durable like many of your other characters. So yeah, use that to your advantage to knock her out and very quickly with debuffs and one-hit combos like that. Just do a lot of damage to her and you can quickly knock her out. Of course, you can also use B2 to your advantage here, where B2 can just cleanse all of the buffs on your team, and then her Meditate doesn't really give her that many buffs, and her Whirlwind will do a lot less damage as well. So yeah, those are some good ways to counter her. Of course, we've already covered her strengths with that Whirlwind and just the massive amounts of damage that it does. So yeah, use that to your advantage. You can see there, look at that, she just destroyed that base, and base was gone in the blink of an eye. So yeah, she's a great character to just knock out someone that's annoying you. So goodbye Savage, goodbye Darth Nihilus, goodbye Kylo Ren. Really, they're just gonna melt under her. So yeah guys, that has been pretty much my video. I've given you guys some ideas for teams, we've discussed her weaknesses, we've gone over her kit a little bit, we've talked about her base stats. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, what other teams she could work with. Of course, when she comes out, you can bet that I'm going to be testing her out like crazy with teams and arena. I'm not sure I'm going to drop the $400 for her for 7-star yet, because that's just a lot of money. But yeah, she's definitely a character. I would say she's probably one of your top 10 characters in the game right now, just because you can't stick debuffs on her, and she just hits for a large amount like that. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for more content on my channel in the future, and I will talk to you guys later.